phishing through fake websites or messages robbing lakhs of unsuspecting victims of their money is a real and present danger. You know that. Today, it emerged that even the Supreme Court of India can't breathe easy on that issue. The top court today issued an advisory over a fake Supreme Court website. The professionally made fake site lured people visiting it to share personal details, net banking, credit card, phone numbers, PAN, user ID, and password. The works. Obviously, those who didn't know the site was fake would trust the apex court to keep all that data safe. The court's advisory also shared the fake URL, the one you see flashing on your screen. It's a lesson that you have to know for sure the site you're dealing with, even if it's the Supreme Court site, whether it's real or not, before sharing your data. Joining us now, N.S. Napinai, advocate of the Supreme Court who specializes in cybercrime cases. Ma'am, no one's safe. That's a lesson that we've learned all along. But today, even the Supreme Court website can be faked by somebody else to fish money off people.
Indeed, nobody is safe. In fact, these kind of sites are not new. If you go back even 20 plus years back, we had very genuine looking websites, which would be primarily of, let's say, a bank, which you trust. And if you go and Google for the bank website and then the fake site pops up, it would have captured the shell, and it would have these parameters through which you would be asked to submit personal data. Imagine that when it is a bank, you're going to end up submitting financial data, which is sensitive personal data. So the problem is there, and the problem is likely to continue also. So it's really critical for each of us as users to be aware of this issue and to protect ourselves. It takes a lot, and it does induce fatigue when we have to keep checking each and everything we do on the digital domain. But prevention is the best form of cure.
Yeah, prevention is the best form of cure, but the bot is getting smarter, and artificial intelligence is making some of these tools as real or perhaps sometimes better than real. So are we all going to take as par for the course that we are going to get cheated at some point of time or the other? All of us are going to fall for it at some point of time or the other, unfortunately.
Raghav, in my book, I have borrowed from Kaffenberger and modified it slightly to say there are only two kinds of devices. One which has been hacked, and the other, Kaffenberger says, other which is waiting to be hacked, whereas I say all have been hacked. There are just two kinds of devices. One you know has been hacked. The other you still don't know it has been hacked. That's the difficulty. But on the preventive measure, I just wanted to add a couple of things. The first and foremost is that today it has come to a stage where it is not just industry, but also institutions have to have an internal mechanism for constantly looking out for and verifying for these kind of phishing websites. Because you have a very simple takedown mechanism. You can file a complaint before the domain registrar. In this case, it would be the domain name dispute resolution mechanism for ICANN, which is .com domain names. So if it is an India-based, that is Nixie and .in. So you have all these remedies which are very quick. So my one word of caution here is, industry has been doing it consistently for many decades now. It is important for institutions also to start reviewing, constantly checking online, and ensuring that these kind of fake websites are taken down immediately.
As you make that point, ma'am, very quickly, as a cybercrime lawyer who practices in the Supreme Court, when you hear about the Supreme Court's website, a fake website on the Supreme Court comes up, what's the sense that goes into you and perhaps the higher sections of India's judiciary?
I'm sure the Supreme Court has a very robust e-committee, in fact, and it has been progressively pushing for utilization of technology in the legal processes. And hence my word of caution that when you're using technology, when you're using digital domains, then you have to put in the preventive and protective measures in a lot more robust manner than just punitive measures. And today we have the Digital Personal Data Protection Act, And under that, any person who collects personal data becomes a data fiduciary. So therefore, to a large extent, the Supreme Court also may have to put in processes to comply with regulatory mechanisms or prescriptive mechanisms that may be there in the process of collecting personal data. And this is independent of its role as the judiciary, because that comes under the exception. Sorry to get so technical, but very simply put, all I would say is be cautious, and more so when you are the apex court or a respected or a trusted institution.
So the lesson that, if I may put it shortly, is that it's not just institutions or companies which need to have a set of protocols to protect themselves. As individuals, we all need to evolve a set of protocols to protect ourselves, both in terms of hacking, both in terms of theft of data, but more importantly in terms of financial frauds, right? Yes or no?
Yes, and cyber hygiene in one word, one phrase, if I were to put it.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Napinai, for joining us. Obviously, we all need to be safe. Don't trust anything that you see online, because we don't know the next curve in technology, and that could be used to fool you or cheat you or rob you of your money. Stay safe.